Good day, guys, and welcome to my hurricane forecast. Today, I'm going to be talking about tropical disturbance 1, 2, and 3. Now, before I begin this forecast, I would like for you guys to like, subscribe, and turn on all post notifications as it helps a lot. Now, today I'm going to be talking about tropical disturbance 1, 2, and 3, as I said in the beginning. And the National Hurricane Center currently has 3 areas of disturbed weather highlighted. First one we're going to be talking about is tropical disturbance 3. Tropical disturbance 3 currently has a low 10% chance of formation within the next 5 days, and within the next 48 hours it has a low 0%. Now, the National Hurricane Center advisor quotes that a tropical wave located over the west central tropical Atlantic is producing limited showers and thunderstorms activity. Significant development of the system is not anticipated as it moves west-northwestward across the Lesser Antilles and Eastern Caribbean Sea during the early to middle part of next week for me. Now, that just basically quotes that it is not expected to develop. Why? I don't think it just is not heading in an area where the water temperatures are right for development, but the atmosphere is not conducive for development, which means that it does not have the right conditions. The atmosphere, remember, we need to have lots of moisture, no wind shear, and we have to have low upper level winds. And all of that is going to influence the development. We have dry air in the Caribbean currently. I'm going to show you guys that in a while. And we also have some wind shear in the Caribbean that this will have to deal with. Hence why it has a low percent chance of formation. Now, we're going to be talking about tropical disturbance 2. Tropical disturbance 1, Tropical disturbance 1 currently has a 30% chance of formation within the next 48 hours and within the next 5 days. Now, the National Hurricane Center advisory. If you could remember in the previous forecast that I issued, the chances was at 70%. Chances decreased from 70 all the way down to 30%. The reason why it decreased, if you can remember, I specifically said that if this tends to move just north of the Cabo Verde Islands, then it would not have a chance of formation, and the chances would decrease for this to develop. So, that means with the cooler water temperatures that it's going to be interacting with and the stronger upper level winds, that's just going to prevent further intensification. Now, the National Hurricane Center advisor says that showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad area of low pressure located a little more than 100 miles south of the southwesternmost Cabo Verde Islands have increased today. Some, but just some, gradual development is possible during the next day or so, but strong upper level winds and cooler water temperatures are likely to prevent significant development after that time. The system is expected to move generally west-northwestward to northwestward across the eastern tropical Atlantic at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Regardless of development, locally heavy rains and gusty winds are possible over portions of southernmost Cabo Verde Islands tonight and into Sunday. Now, this is not expected to develop, but it is, if it were to develop, it would only have a short period of time to develop, because the National Hurricane Center says some gradual development is possible during the next day or so. So, it's expected to develop at least a little bit. I'm not talking about strong tropical depression or strong tropical storm, but at least it's expected to get at least a little more defined that is currently is. But thereafter, after this develops, well, not develop then, after it moves out of that unfavorable conditions, then is when we see the chances start to continue to decrease further down, which may be the effects of the chances falling for this developing. So, now we're going to head on to Tropical Disturbance 3. Because, Tropical Disturbance 2, because this one is one that gets the most attention by me, and it is expected to develop now. The National Hurricane Center says a small but well-defined area of low pressure located over the tropical Atlantic and some 1,000 miles west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Environmental continues to produce limited showers and activity. Environmental conditions are expected to become little more favorable for gradual development over the next several days, and this system could become a tropical depression by the middle of next week. This system is forecast to drift towards west-southwest or west during the next couple of days, and then move little faster towards the west-northwest early next week. Formation chances in the next 48 hours low, 20%. In the next 5 days, medium, 40%. So, the National Hurricane Center advisor says that this system could potentially become a tropical depression by the middle of next week. The reason why we see this becoming potentially a tropical depression, and actually it was the same thing we were saying with Tropical Disturbance 2, but of course things changed and it started to move towards the north, and that's when chances start to decrease for development, and the models actually start to back off on this on Invest 92L. It would not surprise me to see this become Invest 93L by the time we get into maybe tomorrow or late tomorrow morning or maybe 2 days from now. So this is expected to become at least a tropical depression or a tropical storm, and we're going to be running the GFS model on this, because the GFS model and also the European model. So guys, the first thing we're going to be looking at is going to be the cyclonic vorticity. Now this is 6 hours out. If you notice, the vorticity is pretty strong with Tropical Disturbance 2 and the and the National Hurricane Center says that it has a well-defined circulation with it. So that means that it has vorticity in it, and you can see the vorticity signature is pretty tight with this as we get 6 hours out. Now as we continue to go further out into the forecast, we could see that the vorticity gets stronger and it seems to be developing at this time, which means that this might potentially develop within the next 5. Now guys, this is 6 hours out, and as you can, the vorticity seems to be getting stronger with this tropical disturbance when we get 60 hours out, as you can see, which means that it is possibly going to develop. Hence why the National Hurricane Center has this at a medium 40% chance of development, and I do expect the chances to potentially increase. Now it may be at least a tropical. Now here is Tropical Disturbance 1, by the way. Vorticity signature kind of strong, and the vorticity signature is way stronger with Tropical Disturbance 2 that has a 40% chance of formation. Now we're going to continue to go out. Now it seems that the further we get out, which is 90 hours out, this is going to be on August 11th. The further we go out, the more stronger we see this tropical storm getting. At this point, it might be a tropical storm. So we're going to continue to go into the forecast. Now it seems to be getting even stronger as it moves closer towards the Lesser Antilles. Now when it gets extremely close to the northern Lesser Antilles, or northern towards the central Lesser Antilles, we see that the vorticity gets extremely strong with this drop called disturbance. Now I'm going to be looking at the moisture content. Now guys, this is when we get 91. This is when we get 126 hours out. It is pretty strong at this point. Maybe we could be seeing a category 1 hurricane, another category 1 hurricane, as we saw with Elsa. You could remember Elsa became a category 1 hurricane and it made landfall just on the Lesser Antilles, and also it made landfall by this little area you could see right there. It made landfall there. Now Elsa made landfall on Barbados. I was trying to get the name. So at this point it's strong, and you can see it moves into the Caribbean and it just continues to intensify. Now this may be a scenario only on the GFS model, and the ECMWF model may be different. So this is the farthest I'm going to go into the forecast. Maybe we're seeing a high-end category 1 at this point, and it's fairly getting very strong. So guys, we're going to see what plays out into the future, and thank you for watching.